Hola.
Hola.
Hola. Hold on. Now who do you think you are? Putting your cheap 2 cents in. Don't you have nothing to do? Then worry about my friends. Check it. I can't do nothing good without somebody bugging. Okay.
Welcome back, everybody,
Yes. Welcome back.
to episode 9.
Yeah. Hello. We getting our episodes in.
We are.
Yes, hallelujah.
Yes.
And you know what? Thank you for all our followers. We're getting mad love every episode. I love it.
I would like to thank my special listener, my cousin Lindsay.
Yes, Lindsay. Shout out to Rel. I love you, Sandrell. If y'all listen and you in DC, check out Culture Coffee. I love her. One of our biggest supporters. I love her.
Yes.
Shout out to Samira too. I love you too. I love you too, girl.
By Wednesday, before noon, Lindsay already provided feedback. Like, oh my God, I loved it. It was so great.
Yeah.
I so love her.
I love it.
All the way in San Antonio.
Doing it.
Right.
Doing it.
Yes.
All right. All right. So we have a great topic today.
Advice versus adversity.
Yes. Because, I know being married now, I have to take the advice that I get totally different than how I used to take advice when I was younger and single.
Right.
So,
I got a quote for us.
Yes, get it started.
If you listen too much to advice, you may wind up making other people's mistakes.
I really want you to read that one again.
Tweet that.
Yeah, read it again.
If you listen too much to advice, you may wind up making other people's mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I know me, I'm a sharer. When I go through things, I express myself to my friends. I'm just like, oh my God, you won't believe this is happening.
Right.
And sometimes I need to make sure that my actions are okay actions. I want to bounce that off of somebody. And then in return, when you do that, you get advice from your friends.
Sometimes it's unwanted.
Yes, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So I get, and I'm always very, I'm very, what's the word? I cannot think today. Very cautious of the advice I get.
Right. Which you should be.
Yeah, because I'm just like, okay, what place is it coming from?
Right.
So, in saying that, in relationships, do you think it's good to get advice from your single friends?
I think you can get advice and you can learn from anybody, to be honest with you. I think you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Then you need to check where your friends are. So you could have a single person who is in a good place and wants you to make it. Or you can have a single friend who may be low-key jealous, envious of where you are, what you have, or bitter. You know what I mean? And give crazy advice. You know what I mean? It's negative. They don't really maybe they don't want you to make it. So I think you need to know your audience at all times. Because people will say crazy things because misery loves company. And they'll invite you every time to that party.
And I know Doc has said to me many times, watch what check what you hear from your friends. Make sure whatever is going on their end is not affecting what's going on my end. So if I seek advice, make sure they're not going through some mess.
Right.
Make sure they're in a relationship that you want them, that you want to actually be in or something like that, in their type of relationship. Like make sure the advice you're getting is coming from a pure place and not some place that's
some people just be straight up hating. You know what I mean? They don't want you to be happy.
Okay. So, but like...
So I have single friends.
Okay.
I have single friends and they give advice. And, like I said, I take it with a grain of salt. I don't think... And like I said, you just really need to know who your friends are, though, too. And then I have friends who are in relationships and... Sometimes their relationships on the rocks, and so because they going through it with their partner, they really want you to be going through it too. So you can relate to them. Again, misery loves company.
Right.
I get advice from whoever, but you know what? I'm not really that big on sharing. Like if I get to a point, I need to get it out. You just need to know who you're sharing with, though.
Are you an advice giver? Do you give a lot of advice out?
I think I may give a lot of unwanted advice. Sorry. Not sorry. If people ask, I try not to give. I try to make sure that it's coming from a good place and try to remove myself from it. Now, what I will say to people that ask me advice about their married life, I gotta pray, because to me that's serious. That's you made a commitment to God, so it's different than a boyfriend, girlfriend. It's different than a baby mom, baby daddy. It's different. You have reached the highest level. So the thought is that I want you to make it. I want it to be successful. So I don't want to say any and everything. Like, girl, you don't need to do that, or boy, you should just do that. No. Let me go to God and see if I get a revelation or something. But I can't be telling you leave them unless it's something like violence or something.
Right. So do you think, okay, so let's say a person was in an abusive relationship and she was giving advice to another person in an abusive relationship.
She could be giving really good advice. She could be giving advice like, you need to leave, or you need to do this, or seek this. I've been in this rut. I can relate. I've been in this place for the last 10 years. It started off like this. And I mean, we all know, because we have life experiences that allows us to give advice. It's up to you. To me, I think about it like this. If I want to get married, I can get advice from someone who's married, and I can get advice from someone who is divorced. It's good in both. The person who is divorced, they may tell you, you know what, I did this, this, and this, and it was wrong. And I wish that I hadn't done it. Or I wish I would have done it this way. Or just red flag signs. That's why I said I think you can learn from anybody. I think you just need to know the space that they're in. And you need to be in a good space too. And meditate on it. Pray over it. When people, just because they gave you advice don't mean you have to necessarily take it and apply it. You know what I mean? Leave your husband. All right, we're getting a divorce tomorrow. I mean, come on. Right.
I thoroughly believe, so I just thoroughly believe that you have to check the person you're getting advice from. Like, I can get, like, this one girl gave me advice, and I, like you say, you take it with a grain of salt because of who she is. Right. But if it's someone who's like influential, is that the way you say it? Influential in your life, then do you take it with a grain of salt? And especially if it's somebody so important to you, you're just like, but they're not in the best space.
So do they mean?
Right. So how do you figure that out? Like, how do you just be like, Because sometimes it's good advice, but can you really take it from them?
If it's good advice, it's good advice. So I'll use another analogy. Like the pastor. Say if the pastor is doing God knows what, he's still giving us a good sermon. It's still something that we can apply to our lives. Okay. He may be doing God knows what. He could be stealing all the money. We don't know what he's doing. It doesn't negate the fact that sermon that he gave is good. And I'm going to apply it to my life and watch it manifest. I'm still being blessed by it. He may be in a bad place. Just because you're in a bad place don't mean you can't give good advice. So that's what I'm saying. They could be in this sunken place, loady bar. At the end of the day, it's still good advice. Okay.
Because I like to give advice sometimes, when it's asked of. And I could totally tell them to do something that I'm not doing myself.
That's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you should do this, and, you need to really do this and watch out for this. But I'm just like, I ignore all that. Why am I telling her to do it when I ignore it myself?
But I think that's just human nature.
Okay.
We do it all the time.
All right. So how about getting...
I could tell somebody they need to be saving their money. They don't need to be shopping.
I could tell somebody that all day long.
Right.
But then here I am.
At the store.
Hi. What new color do you have at MAC today?
Yes.
Oh, what do you...
What size do you have?
Okay.
Right. I mean, so it's life.
Yeah.
And that's why you need to just, in everything, you got to get your own understanding. People will give advice, whether it's wanted or unwanted, all day long. That's just how it goes. You know what I mean? So just figure out what it is how does it pertain to you? Can you really use this? And just go from there.
How about advice from the opposite sex, or someone, or not even for like I get advice. Like I like to get advice from all aspects. Like, so Doc's a Virgo. I ask a Virgo, and she's
Oh, okay.
dominant.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, she's not like a dominant in a sense, but she's more aggressive than I am. So therefore, I'll ask another aggressive human being, you know, for advice who might either be the same as her or might be a male. How does it figure, like, how about getting advice from the opposite sex or something in your case?
Well, I always do because my best friend is a guy. So I always get advice and, you know, vice versa. I mean, to me, it's good. Our relationship works because he's still trying to figure out women or, you know what I mean? Or his wife in this case. Okay, I'm that. I can give you a little insight on that. He's a man. Who better to ask about a man than a man? You know what I mean? And,
Very true.
You know, for the most part, he's been spot on, dead on in my relationships. So, I mean, I trust him. I mean, he's my best friend, so I definitely trust him. I definitely trust him and share a lot and seek a lot of advice from him when it comes to relationships.
Do you, can you share too much in relationships? Like when you're in a relationship, can you share too much with your friends?
Yes. Yes. I think you can share too much, and you have to be my friends or family. I think you can share too much because you have to understand your family and friends will not forget. If you have painted a picture of this person and it is in a negative light, they still are holding on to that. I don't care if you guys get married. I don't care if you have babies. I don't care if it's 10 years down the line. They can hold on to that. If it's ever been any type of abuse, physical, verbal, whatever it is, negative, people remember the negative. It don't matter that he bought you a house or she bought you a house. It don't matter that you got a rock on your finger. It doesn't matter. They will hold on to that. And if you tell them too much, and then now all of a sudden you want your family and friends to be kumbaya and everything, sit down.
Okay, so I agree with you because I know I'm a sharer, but I have to watch what I share because most of the time it will come back and bite me in my butt, especially with my family and my friends. I'm like, you know what? I should have never told y'all that.
Yeah,
I should have never told you.
Right.
And the same with me because I'm in a situation now. My lovely friend, I love you, girl. You know, I'm talking about you.
Right.
She just went through a breakup.
Right.
And she was like, you know, I can't promise I won't get back with her. You know.
Right.
And I'm just like, hell, you better not ever get back with her.
Right, because you were there.
I was there.
Yes.
I saw the hurt. I saw the pain. And to this day, I want to cuss, fight, everything this girl. I hope you listen because I want to fight you. I want to fight you. Okay. But like I want don't like you can't even think about it can't even be a thought in your head because this child put you through so much pain. I mean, and, you know, let me say one thing. It's all about respect. If you get back with them, I can't do anything about that.
Right.
That's your choice. And I will respect your situation. But just know in my head, I'm judging the crap out of that person. And I shouldn't judge, but I'm just like, I don't like you. And if you hurt her again, I'm going to cut off your feet or something. So you can't walk like, you know, no.
Right.
So I totally understand that.
I do. I think you can really share too much. And that's why you get a therapist. Get a therapist and get a journal and write it out. I mean, I'm blessed because people are human. So even with my best friend, I share things with him, just about everything. I don't really have, I'm pretty sure he knows everything. I'm grateful that he's able to keep a good balance. You know what I mean? And not be like, well, I don't like him or I hate him. Now, he may feel some type of way if I feel hurt and the person has hurt me. And that's understandable because, I mean, we have a love, you know? So I understand him being upset and I get it. I'm grateful that he's able to allow those things to fall off and not hold on to it. You know, he sees what place I'm in and he's okay with it. It may be in the back of his mind, the grudge isn't there.
Okay.
You know, so...
Yeah.
To me, I feel blessed that I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that we have that.
Right. I'm trying to, because if somebody does one of my friends wrong, I'm just like, I don't like you anymore. And like I said before,
you know what? But that's why you have to be careful about the things that you share, especially if there may be potential for you to get back together.
Yes.
You need to, and I think,
and you know what your heart wants.
because the heart don't lie.
Right.
Amen.
You know what your heart wants. So when you're in that situation and you're just like, and you're about to say something.
So just stop. If
Yes.
you're trying to figure it out, just stop. Pause for a minute. You don't need to let everybody know everything that's going on in your house.
Right.
It's not for everybody to know. Everybody is not going to be pulling and pushing for you all to make it. You need to you two need to run your race together,
Right.
and not have all these outsiders all up in the space.
And speaking of sharing too much too, don't embarrass your mate. Like if you know this is just a side note outside of the topic. Like if your mate does something that's kind of embarrassing to them, don't be sharing it all with your girlfriends. And I don't know, like, oh, I don't know if I can say this one.
Go ahead.
So
I gotta hear.
No, okay.
We gotta know.
So one of my friends, girlfriends, partner couldn't shave right.
Oh.
So, told us a story and told us their nickname, right? So every time I saw this person, I'm just like, oh, look at,
Oh, that's private.
It is. So you can't be telling your friends, like sharing too much. You can't be telling them so much or stuff that will embarrass them, because guess what? Every time they look at them, they're going to be like, just like the whole, not to be vulgar, but remember who was somebody was talking about, like, if somebody, kisses your behind.
All right.
So they were like, oh, they're a booty eater. So now here you go. You're going to look at this person's face like, oh, your breath smells like doo-doo. So you cannot, you can't share everything with your friends, especially the sexual stuff, because you'd be like, I know what you do. Mm-mm. Oh, nasty. You can't do that. So it's very important not to share too much in your relationship and keep some things to yourself.
Right.
Because when you don't, you're going to have an angry friend like me who wants to cut a chick. Right.
and then she's upset with you or frustrated with you because you can't get past it. She included you in this whole fiasco.
Yeah. I mean, I can get past it eventually. Okay. But my main thing is...
But I guess now she won't share as much.
Right. Maybe not. But, and like I said, I will always respect the situation. I have a really good friend of mine.
And that may be the shift now that you're experiencing, is that they may tend to go to the left a little bit more because they are trying to figure out if there is hope.
Right. And I have a really good friend who got back with somebody who was so abusive. It hurt me. Yeah. I was like, no, I was there. Like, it used to be really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And I used to go there and rescue her, take her back to my house. Next thing you know, the girl was coming, knocking on the door, coming to get her back. When you're in that type of situation and you see something going on and you can't help it, you just got to respect. You can't, especially not in an abusive relationship, you don't have to respect it so much, but that's the place that they're in, and they're not coming out. When they're ready to come out, they will come out. Right. And you really can't say too much about that, because you will lose a friend.
I agree.
Because at one point, I remember it was really sad. Her girlfriend was telling her that I was doing everything bad for her. Her girlfriend was very abusive. And she called me, was accusing me of doing these things that I never did. Mm-hmm. And I said, who's telling you this? And she was just like, she started crying. I said, you know what? I had to let her go. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to let them go too. Mm-hmm. I said, you know what? I said, we have to stop talking. Mm-hmm. I said, and she was crying. I was like, no, we have to stop talking, because I see where this is going. Right. And this is going to hurt me too much. So when you're ready, you can call me when you're ready. When you're ready to come out, call me. But right now, I can't deal with you in this situation.
Right. You had to set her free.
Yeah, I had to set her free. Right. She came back. She came back to her senses.
Because you set her free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when you set it free is with love. When you let it go, just bye.
But yeah, when you involve people in your relationships, you involve them emotionally. Yeah. You involve them mentally. Right. And sometimes you involve them physically, you know? So
if you have a friend who's in a relationship that you don't agree with, whether it be the person shared so much, or you see what's going on, you just don't say anything. Or do you say
no,
something?
I do say something. Now,
How do you say something? Because
now
I think that's
recently,
so sensitive.
right, it is. So recently I've had this whole, and it depends who you are and where you are in my life. Like I have my best friend. I'll say it straight out. Look, this is how it is. It shouldn't be this way. I don't like it, whatever like that. And I'm just letting you know but I let her know at the same time, all I want is for you to be happy.
Right.
And your happiness is key to me. That's all I want you to be. And if this is not making you happy, if I feel like you're wasting your time, if you're just settling for trash,
Right.
I can't have that. I want you to do better. So I will let her know that. And it's just how to do it. But recently I've been on this whole kind of no filter type of thing, especially when it comes to my friends, especially at this age. We all don't have time. I mean, we have time. You know what I'm saying? We have time, but I don't want you to sit here and get stuck in something that you do not want to be in if you're unhappy.
Right.
So, and
But do you think that sometimes love is so blind that you don't really know that you're not really happy?
no.
You fake it. You fake it out.
Can you
Make yourself believe. I don't know, like forcing yourself like a fake happy.
I have forced myself to be in plenty situations that I shouldn't have been. But you know me. Once I'm not, I get in it and I'm just like, I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna be here. But while I'm there, and since I've been there, I feel like I knew at that point I need to get out. And you can try to force yourself to be in anything, but in your mind, in your subconscious, you will dream about it, honey. You have to go. You know you have to go. I don't care who it is. Everybody knows love is not that blind. You can get hit in your face all the darn time. Right. You're going to tell me love is blind? If you're getting beat, you might get killed? No, girl, you know you need to go.
Right.
You know you need to go. It's something within them, though. I feel like it's just like a self-esteem. It's an internal thing. It's a lonely thing that you have to fix because...
You think you can't get better? This is
right. This is all you can get. This is the only. I had somebody tell it to me all the time. You don't get nobody better than me.
Right.
Who's gonna want you? Who's gonna want this? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay here because no one else is gonna want me. But inside, I knew that was not true. Everybody knows that's not true. You can.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? You could be brainwashed.
Yeah.
You could be brainwashed to feel that way. But deep, I feel like just like here we go to sunken place. You know. You're down there, you're looking out. So a little piece of that, look, I got to get out.
Yeah, this is not right.
Right.
This ain't it.
Right. I have to go. So I feel like, yeah, love can blind you in some ways, but there is a piece of you. You have to go. Right. That knows this is not right. I don't care. I feel everybody knows it. It's a natural intuition. I
think it is a little piece of you that knows, like you said, that was a good way to explain it in a sunken place. I think it is a little piece of you that knows that you need to get out. It doesn't feel right. Mm-hmm. It doesn't rest well. Something about it is unsettling to be here. I think there's so many other factors that keep you there. Low self-esteem.
Yeah.
The fact that maybe he is that's the best person you ever been with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you may have been with a lot of different people, but this is the best person thus far. So maybe this is the end of the road. You won't get anyone better. So you have a lot, or he or she is taking care of you.
Yeah, and that's the issue too.
Right. So you stay and you shouldn't be there. It's a sad place to be. I think that a lot of us, if we are honest with ourselves, have been there. Mm-hmm. We stay with people just because. I mean, we talked about this in an episode in the beginning, I think, that we stay a lot of times just because. It's just a comfort thing.
And some people are just tired of being alone. I heard that a lot a couple of weeks ago saying, I just don't want to be alone. Some people are just tired of being alone and will take anything.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's two different things. Being alone is not lonely. Mm-hmm. I can be alone and not necessarily be lonely.
Right.
Now, I do believe that loneliness spirit will creep up. And I've been in a relationship where we are in the same house, I just feel alone. I feel by myself. You need to get out.
Right.
So if you feel like that, you need to leave now. Like if you are experiencing such and such, leave now.
Right. I agree. Like,
Yeah.
and you know me, I would break in a heartbeat. I'd be like, you know what this is not is for me, and really, I'm moving next week. And I told you, I've been
But
warning
then
you.
sometimes, do you think that it takes you a long time to get to that point?
Yes, it does. Like
Yeah.
I've been in the place where I had low self-esteem, where I couldn't, I thought that was the only, person I can get, the best thing I could ever, I can get. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm good. Like that piece of me was still there. Just like, Carly, get out, like go.
Because it's always that inner voice that tells
Yes.
you, no, this is not it. And we fight it. And because we have free will, we'll stay.
Did I ever tell the story about my ex-girlfriend? I was like 19, and it was my first girlfriend ever, and my first relationship, and we lived together and stuff, and
You ain't know that we live together?
and she was cheating on me, right? And but I was just like,
Well, I think you did talk about this.
it wasn't on the podcast.
I'm not sure, but let's hear.
But but I was like, she was cheating on me, and even her best friend was trying to tell me, and I still couldn't believe it. And I did say something about this because she was outside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that day I remember I was just like, you know what?
But you
No
enough
point.
is enough, and
Enough
I think
is
it was
enough.
there was something that made you know. Anyways, your intuition, because we have it. Your intuition told you something wasn't right with her, anyways, and so it was just confirmation.
Right, and I was like, bye. I got a break.
Yeah, see you, bye. Yeah,
And I remember saying it was over.
and you meant it.
I meant it. I meant every word of it. I might have regretted it a little bit because I was so heartbroken. But you know what? No. I let that voice come out. I said it was over. It was something. It wasn't even, I felt like half the time it
You
was
said that
even
was your
me.
first girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about the first.
Oh.
Because for me, I stayed for the longest time, and I wanted to get out. It was a comfort level that I had, definitely a familiar spirit, and I was like, I'm getting help. I got my own place now. I need my rent paid. I'm sorry. Hey, honest moment. And I was trying to work at a restaurant, trying to pay bills and everything. So yeah, I kept him around, and he probably kept me around for both of us using each other, both of us. One day I was like, you know what? I don't care how I'm about to pay this rent. I'm about to pay it though by myself. And then even when I said that, he was like, well, I don't know how you gonna pay your rent. Ooh, I'm about to work a double. You do what you have to do. Enough is enough. But you can't tell somebody when their fed up point is. And that's what I am learning with friends, and they share different things. We all have that friend that calls. We probably been that friend that calls, and he not doing this and she not doing this, and going in about the person, and they telling you all this stuff, and you like, whoa. Just look, maybe this not the right person for you. That mess is so draining. Once you get to a certain age, don't keep calling my phone with that. Enough is enough. At what point do you just say, you know what? I don't want to go back and forth. I don't want to be breaking up. Like I don't understand. I don't understand breaks. I don't understand breaking up and all that. We need to work through this, because that's the problem. Oh, don't even get me preaching up here, but that's the problem with marriage. We can't even do the whole dating stage. We're like breaking up every 3 weeks. I'm mad at him. Get your stuff. Take your keys. I'm guilty of it. Get some emotional intelligence and sit down and work it out.
Now, one thing I don't believe in is breaking up to make up. I don't like that. Now, although breakup sex is very good, but I don't like.
Now we gonna argue because we're not perfect,
right?
So we're gonna argue in all that. We're two different people,
right?
So we're gonna have some arguments,
fine.
right?
But I have, I don't want to call them rules, but when Doc and I first started dating, I was just like, one, we don't sleep apart. I don't agree with that. I feel like the bed is a neutral is a neutral place. So we might be angry, but I know at the end of the night you better hold me. I know you. I don't want to touch you. I don't want to rub your back. I don't want to do anything.
Don't touch me.
Oh no. See, for me it's different because I just feel like it's a neutral zone. And we could be angry all day the next day. I still make sure I keep the routine that we do. That's personal to me.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. I don't. No, for real. Like, I don't need no fake stuff. I don't want to go to bed angry. And I also don't believe we're not about to stay up all night to try to figure it out either.
Right.
I gotta go to work. You need to go to work too. I don't want to go to work with bags underneath my eyes and looking like what I'm going through. I don't want that. If we can, let's try to talk it out. We can end with "I love you." I do. Just because I'm mad don't mean I don't love you.
Right.
I love you. Have a good rest. And let me do my own prayer on my side of the bed, and you do your own prayer. Don't touch me, because I don't want to have makeup sex. I don't want to do all that. I just want to maybe tomorrow, because I think you have to understand your partner too.
I don't think it's not necessary to have like right away.
Well, I just don't want you. I don't. Yeah. Let me have my space, and that's where I am now. Is that it's important for me to have my space, and when I say I need a moment, because if I don't have my moment, then the emotional meter is off the charts, and I can say something that I regret because I'm hurt now. And you already know, hurt people hurt people. So I don't want to say the wrong thing to you at this point. Let me just have my space because I'm mad.
Yeah.
And it's midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see where you're coming from.
But you rubbing all on me? No. I don't want to. Don't Jody me. Don't baby boy me. Okay?
Wait, what?
Don't be having me like, I'm going to make the tacos and I'm going to clean the house. No, I'm mad. Don't be trying to come down there and, distract me.
No, I don't want all that. Now, what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to go to bed mad. Just like, okay, for instance, like, I kiss Doc every morning before I go to work. My thing is, if I'm angry the night before, I still don't want to leave out the house without giving you that kiss before I leave. You know what I mean?
Fine.
And I just feel like whatever needs to be done needs to be worked out before we go to bed. Like, that's how I feel.
Sometimes I don't think that's realistic.
Some things are impossible to work out before you go to bed. But I just believe that in a relationship, I'm not going to sleep in a separate bed. I think that's crazy.
I don't want to sleep. I shouldn't wake up and you on the couch.
No, I don't like that.
What is that?
No. To me, bed is home base. That's where we're going to go.
Right. I definitely think that we need to sleep together. You don't need that type of energy. And another thing is, you don't need to have that time apart when you are mad, like, too long, because then you start to rehearse things. Now, I don't really like to rehearse things. I don't like to rehearse things, because the minute you start doing it, you just become so angry. Now you're furious. And when the person walks through the door or come in, you bump into each other at the house, you mad, watch where you going.
Now, I'm the type of person where I cannot, when I'm angry or if something's going on that's stressing me in my relationship, I cannot get my words right. So throughout the day, I'm taking notes. I'm literally putting notes on my phone. This is one talking point. This is talking point 2. This is talking point 3. Because I would just be like, and you did this, and the darn dishes, and I'm just everywhere.
So do you keep a record book?
You know what? I used to.
Really?
I did. You know why? Because my brain keeps, the way my brain is wired up, it keeps certain information, right? So certain things kind of are purged, but I want to make sure I have a note of this just to let you know I notice this sometimes. So, I don't do it all the time. I actually don't do it anymore, but I used to. I'm like, I'm going to keep this right here because I'm going to let you know that on this day, on this time, this is when the thing I talk to you about, the thing that gets on my nerve, that's when it happened. Because, I hate when people go, this is what I hate.
Oh, I know I hate when people say, what you about to say.
When?
Yeah.
When did I say?
Give me an example.
Give me an example.
Oh, please. On November 3rd, have a seat. At 8:58 p.m. Oh, in another day.
Right. So I used to have
I have a friend just like that. I love this girl. She is the funniest person ever. Okay. Shout out to Nicole. I'm just going to have to put her on blast. She documented everything in her relationship. Anytime he ever asked for money, just say it was something like cigarettes, she documented everything. Okay.
And on this day, you owe me $400.
Right. And so when they got into it, she gave him a list of all the things that he did and maybe she paid for or whatnot. Whatever it was, she had a record book. Now, the funny thing is, on the way into work, and I had to be a little late because Joel Osteen was preaching. He was talking about the record book and how in order to forgive.
Oh, that's why I need to listen to
Yes,
it.
you got to listen to it. It's 2 of them.
Okay.
Let go of the record book. Because if we keep on remembering and documenting every time somebody has done something to us and then we explode, because a record book, we'll go back to it, we'll rehearse it, we'll allow it to fester, and then he does something, she does something like, leave the milk out and snap, crack, pop. It's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? You already on, you going in on the person. It's crazy.
That's like, you ever seen Chris Rock, I Think I Love My Wife? So there was one point where he was trying to find an argument so he could leave to go meet this girl. But his main argument was, chicken. We always having chicken. I'm sick and tired of this chicken. And he walks out. He storms out the house. Just one thing to set him off. Chicken again. So
it's always going to be something. You're always going to go through some type of adversity. There's 365 days in a year. Do you really think all those days are going to be, just happy-go-lucky?
They're not. But you know what? I love the space right now in my marriage where we'll go through something and then it's like, for example, the other day, I was going through a lot. We're trying to find a place to live. That is stressful.
It is.
And we're going back and forth arguing. I'm just like, and she's just going at me. And then I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. But she called me and was just like, you know what? I love you. I just want to let you know that I love you. And I was like, okay. At first I was like, oh, why are you telling me you love me? What happened? What'd I do? But no, she was just calling to say, you know what? Let me just come back in and just be like, we're good.
Right.
Because sometimes you need it because it does get stressful.
It does get stressful.
So.
I don't know. It's pick and choose who you need to tell.
Right. Because when I know
everybody's going through something.
Right. And I've been in trouble before sharing too much because it will bite you in the tail.
Now, what if you telling too much and then the person that you're telling ended up telling the person that you're with? Now that could get real crazy. Because now you're really talking too much and now you get exposed.
Yeah.
You're telling all the business.
Like telling their friends or like if I told one of Doc's friends something.
Right. Well, if you told one of your friends, if you told me something and then I'm like, and then you know what? And this and this.
In like in an argument or something?
Well, okay, so Nova shared a story. Shout out to Nova.
Hey, girl.
Shared a story about being upset because she knew her friend had shared a lot of information, and so she knew what this girl's husband, I think, was like. Okay, so then she just explodes on the guy. They have an argument for whatever reason, and she just explodes on the guy, and because she has intel about what's going on in their marriage, and it's not good, it's definitely not favorable. Well, he said something slick to her, and she like, oh, really?
I've been in that situation before. And I actually was the one telling off that person.
I think, and so it goes back to before, when you really care about somebody, it's hard. It's a challenge for you to really mind your own business because the person puts you in their business, and you don't want to. It's a challenge because you don't want to get involved. If you love or like somebody, it's a challenge. Like with my brother, it is a struggle for me. Like right now, I just don't want to know what he's doing. So with my reset button, I'm resetting that in regards to knowing what he has going on in his relationships. Because you know what? I don't want to be their friend. If they become serious, then all right, let's see. Enough of befriending the girlfriend. I need to allow him to do him. If I don't like them, I just don't like them. It is hard. He's went through experiences with these girls. I'm like, I cannot stand her. Now, this last one, the whole family was in agreement. She ain't the one. Now, for all we know, he probably still liking her. I love you, Pat.
But he shared so much.
He shared too much. He's done too much for her, and this is only his side of the story. I probably will never know her side of the story. Do I care? No. I've already made up my mind. I don't like her. And I can't see a future with us and a family portrait. There's no Thanksgiving, there's no Christmas. I don't see that. You know, I want a nephew, I want a niece, but not like that.
So I actually had a situation where a friend of mine, her girlfriend came to me asking me for advice. Right. And then it's like my battle was how to tell her girlfriend one thing without hurting my friend.
Right.
And it was hard, but at the end of it, I was just like, you know what? And because you know what place your friend is in. And then
But where's your loyalty though?
My loyalty is still with her.
My friend.
My friend. Because my thing is, my loyalty is with my friend because I want my friend to be happy too.
Right.
But my main, how I kind of said it was, you know, hurt people will hurt people. And I said, you only have one life to be happy. I said, and if you're not happy in one thing, you're not going to make your partner happy. So therefore, it's just going to be a toxic relationship. And so that's how I kind of put it. And I was like, you know, and one thing is I want for my girl to be happy in her life and not being anything abusive and toxic.
Right.
So you take that for what it is and go forth. Because I said, if you're unhappy, it's going to affect your relationship. You're going to be unhappy. She's going to be unhappy. It's going to be a mess. So that's how I carried it. But it was very difficult for me to find a space where I could be like, you know what? How can I advise her without hurting my friend? Because I know what she wants too. But then
I definitely don't know how to do that. That's why I'm in a space that I'm minding my own business.
Right. And she brought me in. She was like,
but
her
you know what?
Called me and was
and people will bring you in. Just like I said, people will bring you in. I'm done. Even when I hear I'm done. For Lent, I said, I don't want to discuss anybody's business, anybody relationship. I need to worry and focus. Not even worry, but focus on my own relationship. Worry about me.
Water your own garden.
Absolutely. Right. Water my own garden.
Hearts all over the place. Hearts.
I do. I don't need to be worried about what anybody else is doing. I really don't need to be. I need to really put that attention, exert all that type of energy into making sure my relationship is the best relationship.
I agree.
And working on ourselves individually and collectively together, trying to be the best power couple ever. What they got going on, we don't. And I don't need to bring it into my relationship.
Amen.
So if they got some craziness stuff going on, we don't need to spend too much time worrying about what somebody else got going on when we have some real life issues.
Right.
And so even in my relationship, it's just important. Sometimes you talk so much about the other person and what they got going on in these other relationships that you don't spend enough time talking about yourself.
Yes.
And what we have going on. They got a whole bunch of issues, but have we even discussed where we trying to go? How our vision board look? Where we trying to go? Where are we now? What kind of boundaries we have? If we about to be a power couple, where our goals at? You know, we need to work on us. And I think that revelation is the best revelation ever. Thank you, God. Because moving forward, I really don't care what you have going on. Like, I may talk about it a little bit, just a small, tiny bit, just for entertainment purposes, but I need to hurry up and move past that. I don't need to spend so much time on it, because if I think about it, that is a time waster. I have wasted a lot of time talking about somebody else's craziness. If that's her man and she like that, then if you like it, I love it.
I agree, because there's times when I have to just kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Just kind of not answer my phone, because I'm just like, I got to deal with my own. And the last thing I need here is your mess. Because this is mine. I need to deal with my area first. I have to tend to my garden. Before I can even try to go fix somebody else's weeds. I don't even want to fix somebody else's weeds. I just want to deal with my own stuff.
Right. It takes a lot for you to maintain this garden and for it to look beautiful. And you got roses and all that stuff over here you planting. You need to make sure that everything has the right amount of water and right amount of sunlight and giving the best attention you can possibly give it. I can't really devote that type of time because we only have 24 hours in this day. And then if I'm so concerned about what Sheila and Kevon got going on, then then guess what? I may be bringing that to my relationship, even some of the negative energy, because what she may be going through may pose something in my mind. And I don't need that. And he don't deserve that. He's like, whoa there.
I always talk about Doc. But Doc is the first one to be like this. Guess what, though? You ain't going through that.
Right.
So it's not your... that's not your relationship. Are you? So what's the issue?
Right.
Quick to say that with a quickness. Just be like, no, you're not going through it. So you really don't need to be. So what?
Right.
And I agree with it. You don't need to bring certain energy into your relationship,
right.
especially from your friends, because they can go through hell and you just be like, and here you come feeling some kind of way, thinking about some stuff that your partner could possibly do.
Right.
And for what?
Like,
do
you know that she told me that so-and-so did?
Mm-hmm. And you hear some,
And now you're feeling some type of way. Now
right.
you're giving them the side eye. And they're like, what did I do?
What's in your phone?
Yeah.
Because she went through his phone and found this. So who's in your phone?
Mm-hmm.
What? No, you don't need all that.
Mm-hmm. It's negative. And another thing I was going to say earlier is that even, so you have your single friends, you have your friends in relationships. I think for me, I know what I desire. I desire to be married. It's important for me to have friends who are in healthy relationships, married couples who are in healthy, good relationships, that strive and that is a power couple and doing great things. That's what I want to be an example for me. You know what I mean? I think you need to find I'm always asking you, do you know what I mean? Does anybody understand me?
I know what you mean.
I do. I think it's important for you to have some couple represent what it is that you want. Like when I see Miss Sheila and Mr. Pat.
Oh my God.
I want that. That's so sweet.
They love each other.
They love each other.
You
they
can
adore
see it in their
each
cheeks.
other. Yes. And for you to still feel that after all these years, after you raise your kids and now you have the empty nest and it's just as wonderful and amorous now. Like, what? That is awesome. I want that.
Yeah.
I desire that. So I like to hear about what they have going on or ask her questions, pick her brain and see. That's important. She wants something she has something that I want.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good example.
I love them as a couple.
Yeah. I think it's good to find people that you want to, if that's what I'm striving to have, I need to really gravitate to that. I don't have to drop my single friends.
Right.
I want to gravitate towards that because I want that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that my friends who are single, if you want what I have, then maybe you gravitate into me because you see something. Mm-hmm. Toy's different now. What is it that she's doing? Right.
So all in all, it doesn't really matter where you get your advice from. Just check where the person is. They can be single giving you advice, but check where they are in their life, making sure that the advice they're giving you is positive and coming from a good place.
And you know if it feel right or if it don't feel right.
Because, you're
not that crazy.
Right. Because it doesn't matter who you get it from. You can get it from a married person. They can be in a just unhappy place.
Right.
And they're telling you, girl, no, what you need to do is just do, leave
and
if
you're speaking, if you're the person who is giving the advice, don't just be giving no ill will advice.
Amen.
Especially if the person is married, don't be so quick to tell the person just to leave.
Because it's a marriage.
It is. It's a marriage.
It's a family. It's a life.
Right. People need to fight for stuff. If it's not worth keeping, if it's not worth fighting for. So try and be encouraging to them and pray for them.
Right.
Especially, please pray for them if you went to their wedding. I think it's egregious for you to not pray for the people that if you were in their wedding, if you made the decision that you are going to be a part of this wedding, whether you are a part of the wedding party or you are in attendance, okay, at this point, even if I don't like so-and-so, I'm in agreement. When they say bow your head and pray, I'm praying that they make it. When they have tough times, I do want them to make it because now you guys are one. And so you made that commitment, like I said, to God. So I want you to make it.
Right.
I think it's nothing greater than to see a happy couple get married and just live out their dream. That's awesome. And we all should be wanting that instead of being like, girl, you should leave him, or I wouldn't take that if I were you. Well, you're not me. Bottom line, you're not me. So maybe you won't take it. But I'm here and I need you to pray for me because I don't know what to do.
Right.
Don't be telling me to leave.
I agree. All right. On that note, girl, give us some information. I need sleep.
She tired. Not tired, but tired.
I need sleep. Affirmation, please. Lord have mercy.
I trust myself to make the best decisions.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Trust yourself.
Right. Because at the end, everybody can give you advice. At the end of the day, it's your situation, and you got to do what's best for you. So, as always, if you want to get in contact with us, ask for advice, check us out on social media, listen to us on YouTube or SoundCloud. It is at Be C.L.E.A.R Podcast. So, YouTube, SoundCloud, everything Gmail too. Email us at lbclearpodcast@gmail.com.
Feedback, comments, we take it all.
Yep. So we appreciate y'all. We thank you so very much.
You, everyone who's been supporting us.
Yes, we appreciate it. We're getting love.
And we love y'all too.
All right. Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
I'm that chick that you should be lucky to get with. No hit and run with it. I'm doing it up all over the world. I'm getting real loud.